All right, what's up guys? So installing some PCI side skirts today. I didn't really look up a tutorial on them. I just kind of read the kind of vague instructions. I personally thought that you installed them on the factory side skirts and put them back on, which is what I've been told. That is not the case. You do need to install brackets on the side of the car, and the way that they tell you to do it is to mount the tabs. So this is the side skirt, this is the top of the side skirt, which this one actually came in dented, which kind of really pisses me off. But you mount the tabs so they're facing this direction, so it'll be sitting on the car this way, and put the tabs on there. And then what I did is I just walked it over to the car, walked it over here and stuck it on there. So I lined up the front here and made sure it was all the way back towards the back. Pushed these tabs that you've installed on the side skirt, like I just showed you, install these tabs on the side skirt. And once you have the side skirt up there, these tabs are actually going to be on the bottom when you mark it. So you're going to put the side skirt on there, push it all the way back, make sure it's against the fender, push it all the way in, so that way the tabs are in the right location. And then on the very bottom, so like I said, this tab is going to be on the bottom. I'll kind of just show you what it looks like. So you're going to have this tab that's bolted to the side skirt. It's actually going to go down here, and the reason why you do that is because you're going to mark the little holes right here, the slots. So when it's down here, what I did is I just took a Sharpie and just drew a line through here, and then drew a line through here on the bottom. And then when I mounted these, I just went ahead and drilled holes through the bottom of the car, and then they go in this orientation when you put them on the actual car. So they don't go on the bottom, they go on the top, but you just mark them from the bottom. So you're going to draw a little line, drill in the middle of the line, so that way you still have the ability to move these forward and back to get it to line up. And from what it looks like, you want to keep it as far or as close to the actual body itself. Like this one is actually almost touching the body, but you want to make sure that it's all the way against that filler, the inside here, just so that way it keeps the side skirt in as much as possible and doesn't stick out. They do tell you too that when you put this bracket on, they want it perpendicular with the floor. So as you can tell right now, how they're kind of sitting on there, when they're bolted in, it looks like they're kind of angled that direction a little bit. So I might have to come in here and kind of bend this up a tad. And they tell you to do that actually with like a pair of pliers or something like that in the instructions. They tell you to bend this out a little bit so that way it's flush, and then the side skirt fits in there better on top. So that's what I've learned so far. That's been the easiest way that I can think of to probably get this done. Once I get them installed, I'll make another video and add it to this once they're on there, and kind of go over any like little tips and tricks that I learned. But so far right now, that's where I'm at in the process, and we'll check on the next one. So got all the brackets on there, front, middle, rear. One of the things that I did notice is that obviously you're putting it on the bottom and you're marking it down there, drilling it down there. You can't really see how close you are to the lip of this little channel right here. This is real close, and it's kind of hard to see exactly where I drilled it, but it's almost in the center of this channel. It's almost like directly centered where the bolts are. This one, when you mark it, the front seems to be, this one seems to be a little further towards the outside of the car. This one seems to be pretty close to like right at the middle. But when you get to the rear and you put the skirt up against there to mark it, it seems to be a little too far to the inside of the car. And this one right here is a little crooked because it's a little too tight up inside that channel. So I might take it off and grind just a little hair off of the back side of this bracket so that way it sits more flush. But I did tighten these down all the way as hard as I could, and then it did straighten up to where it was, you know, flush this way. But like I said, it is really close up into that channel, and you could tell just by the marks they were, you know, more towards the inside of that. So just keep an eye on that, I guess, when you're doing it. On this side, I was a little preemptive on that, so this side is definitely a little looser. I gave it a little bit more space in that channel, but it still is up against it when you tighten it down. So just you know, take that for what it's worth. Try to keep the bolts directly in the center of this channel all the way down. That seems to look a lot better. So I'm going to get them bolted up. Also, what I'm going to do is on the fenders, I'm going to take this bolt out up here. I'm going to put a spacer behind the fender itself and actually space my fenders out a little bit up against the actual skirt itself. So this channel will be up against the skirt. And that way it'll allow me to have a little bit more tire clearance also without it looking all crazy. So I'm going to do that, and then I'll get back to you. So side skirts are on. I haven't put it on the ground yet to see how it looks. Had to do a little finagling up on the front. So there is like a lip on this, and then there's also a lip on the fender on the OEM one that I think that this is supposed to kind of drop down into it. But if you do that, then the gap from here to here height-wise changes, and then it kind of doesn't match the whole rest of the car. So I tried to keep it up as high as possible and then bend out the tabs. You know, so if you're looking down the car, bending out the tabs this way to keep the side skirt in on the top as much as possible. But I think that that's just how it is kind of on the front. I don't have anybody else's to confirm that. I feel like this one is out maybe just a tad more. But like I said, there's kind of a gap that it has to fit in on this. And then on this one too, had to bend the tabs out to be able to get it, you know, pretty flush straight up and down. So yeah, I think they're good for now. If I do some fenders and all that, I might kind of adjust the front or something like that to see if I can get it maybe in a little bit more. But I think we're gonna leave it like that for now. I do have these that I need to put onto the rear toe links, so I'll probably do that while the car's up in the air and trying to get all this stuff done. I did already replace the bushings up front for the upper control arms from the PCI. So everything now is full PCI and kingpin throughout the bottom for all that. But I do have these, which are the True Heart control arms, or the upper arms. I mean, they seem to be working fine. These are the bigger ones that have the the big sandwich plate and then the big sandwich plate on top. So I haven't had to move or anything like that. And obviously with going off in the ditch, it didn't mess those up at all or even move the position of those. So I think we're gonna leave those for now. If it does run into, you know, if I do run into a problem, then I'll switch those out. But right now, you know, the tutorial was about the side skirts. So if you have any questions, or if you want some detailed pictures of how I mounted it, you know, definitely hit me up, let me know. Go over and follow my Facebook. I'll post some pictures on there as well. So yeah, we'll talk to you guys later.